I'm listening to Rodney Garner, who visited with the media yesterday, and I'm quickly realizing that he's probably the most honest coach that Tennessee has on their staff. Everybody else is about coach speak, and I don't mean honesty as in lying, but he just comes out and tells us that Joshua Joseph's had a sophomore lull, and Caleb, there's more to that. So I want to talk about those guys, because what unproven defensive lineman should Tennessee fans be most excited about? I'll go ahead and tell you mine is Joseph's because of his physical ability. However, he also said something about James Pearce that was a little disappointing in terms of his mental toughness. Share that with us.
So, James Pearce, you said, or Joshua Josephs?
Well, I think he got frustrated by getting caught behind James Pearce.
Yes. Joshua Josephs said that, and I don't know how to take this. He basically admitted, Josephs himself admitted this, that he got a little jealous seeing his roommate James Pearce be so successful last year. And that, it kind of played a role in his sophomore slump. I don't know what to make of that, because I will say, sometimes jealousy can be a good thing if you use it as a way to make you better yourself, right?
Agreed.
But it can be a bad thing if you say, I see somebody next to me doing well and I'm going to sink into a hole and cry about it now. And it feels like Joshua Josephs did the second thing, which raises major questions about his mental toughness, doesn't it?
It does, but are those questions answered because he's willing to step up to the mic, literally, and talk about it? I mean, guys mature right in front of our eyes. That's one of the things that I like about college football more than the NFL. Does it show a sense of maturity that he said, hey, I was jealous. It affected me. Garner's talked about the lull, but Rodney Garner's now talking about how Joshua Josephs is back. So is it a good sign that he was step up and admit that?
Okay. It depends. Sometimes they're red flags, sometimes they aren't. Jalen Hyatt admitted that he was salty on himself because he didn't become the starter in the slot behind Velus Jones in 2021. And he turned that around and he balled out in 2022. So you say, okay, he fixed his mentality. Tyler Bray in 2011 said, I was kind of dumb going into 2012, guaranteed Tennessee would win the SEC title, and said, I was just kind of dumb last year. I didn't have great leadership, and, I need to do better this year. And while his stats were better the next year, Tyler Bray's leadership remains the worst that Tennessee has ever had. So now maybe you could blame that on Derek Dooley. He didn't have great coaching above him, but I think Tyler Bray just was a very lazy player. And so I think it somewhat depends. Sometimes the switch flips and it stays flipped for the rest of your life. Reggie White flipped a switch going into a senior year at Tennessee, right? And
he did. He was very people don't remember that. He was very average his junior year.
Right. But Reggie White never turned it off after flipping that switch, did he? No. Yeah. So the question is, can you flip the switch and can the switch stay on? Because Joshua Josephs, spoiler alert, you ain't going to be in that much larger of a role this year than you were last year. You're the backup Leo. You're not going to beat James Pearce out for that job. So can you be willing to have a different mentality when your role is largely the same as it was last year?
Yeah. As far as I believe that he will have enough of a role. I realize he's behind James Pearce, but I think he'll have enough of a role to make him happy. And he needs to think about this. He needs to think about James Pearce is gone after this year. So he could do the same thing that James Pearce had, because he's kind of like a poor man's James Pearce from what I've been told. He's incredibly talented, but James Pearce is kind of the elite level above that. What other,
kind of like how Kobe was a poor man's Jordan.
That's a great comparison. Which other unproven defensive linemen should Tennessee fans be most excited about? I know that I sound like a broken record because I'm right. But if Elijah Simmons stays healthy, that will be the guy you should be most excited about. But if you make me take out the qualifications, it's Jaxson Moi. It's not close. I keep hearing great things about him. He is going to be a part of the rotation from the get.
Yes, I'm hearing a lot of great things about Jaxson Moi too. And Dave, I hate to do a Polynesian to Polynesian comparison. And I actually don't think Jaxson Moi's Polynesian. I think he's some other form of Samoan. And I sorry, guys, I really apologize up front for not getting it right. I'm trying not to lump, different ethnicities together. I know that's not an appropriate thing to do. However, given his size at 6'2", 307, and given his backstory coming from out west like that, do you see a Jesse Mahalona type in him?
Jesse Mahalona was a little bit undersized and kind of a quick guy. I think
But isn't Jaxson Moi kind of undersized too?
Yeah, how big do we have Moy listed?
Moy's listed at 6'2".
Yeah, what's his weight? Because
307.
307. Mahalona played around 280, and I think he may have played even a little bit lighter than that. He was one of the most unique players I ever covered because he was like a fire plug guy that had a leverage. So no, I don't think they're similar players. And the other thing about Mahalona is and I will tell you this: if Moy has the motor, which is common, maybe we're lumping together Polynesian players. I don't know, but oftentimes, I don't know that Moy is Polynesian, but Polynesian players oftentimes have a great motor. If he has anywhere close to the motor that Mahalona has, then Tennessee's going to have another star on their hand, not just another good player.
Yes, I totally agree. And I mean, that's the question. Does he have the motor? And they loved him at Stanford from everything I understand. So I think this is a very good pickup for Tennessee. And you're right. I know he's not 6 feet, but he is 6'2". Sometimes being that undersized player, understanding leverage can really throw offensive linemen off, right? Because you're blocking these 6'5", 6'6" guys, and you're trying to get leverage on them. And here comes this 6'2" guy that kind of is sneaky and gets underneath you and can make tons of plays. I think that's a huge factor in this.
I think it helps Cooper Mays a lot on the offensive line. He's probably 6'1", 6'2". I think that leverage helps him a lot. Now, I am going to, if I may, give us a little bit of credit because Moondrops Beauty says the fact that Coach Garner said what he did about Moy is very telling. Rodney doesn't just hand out comments like that. You're absolutely right. But who told you 2 weeks ago that Jaxson Moy, before practice even started, that he was going to have a great camp and be a special player?
Oh, you did. You did say that, Dave. You were the first to say that.
Say, may I raise my hand? So hit the like and subscribe button if you like news, if you like the hot takes that we provide. But we definitely want you to hit that like and subscribe button. It helps us bring more people into the program. Just had someone that signed up for our Hooker's Corner. We greatly appreciate that. And I want to remind you that you can do the absolute same. Brought to you by our friends at Sports Treasures. Sports Treasures carrying over 5 million sports treasures. Knoxville's oldest card shop, 35 years. They are awesome. You've got to check it out. Please tell them that Off the Hook Sports sent you. We would greatly appreciate that. And you can win a fantastic monthly prize thanks to Sports Treasures, which last month was that mini helmet signed by John Henderson. This month, picking up a new prize. Excited to announce that tomorrow. And all you have to do is sign up at Hooker's Corner. And that's very easy to do. You can go with the QR code right there. You'll get increased recruiting information, more interaction with me and Caleb Calhoun. You can be a member for just $9.98 a month. Also, more prizes to win thanks to our good friend Rick Terry. We've got Rick Terry's Great 8 Garmin Challenge, where you can win a Garmin. That's right, a Garmin watch that is presented by our good friend Rick Terry at Rick Terry Jewelry Design. Get ready for Rick Terry's Great 8 Garmin Challenge, brought to you by Rick Terry Jewelry Design. You just have to be a member of Hooker's Corner, not a paid member, free member, and you have to subscribe to the YouTube page. And when we surpass 8,000 subscribers, we're going to give away a watch worth $1,000. So get on board now. And we thank Rick Terry Jewelry Design. They want to be your jeweler. They've got the fire opals that are awesome for game day, a Tennessee tradition. RickTerryJewelry.com. That's RickTerryJewelry.com.